Hello, hello, everyone. So as you are coming in, just let me know if you're here for the first time today. Just put a 1 in the chat if you're here for the first time today, a 2 in the chat if you're a repeat from yesterday, or if you're continuing from yesterday. And I just want to welcome you today. There's probably going to be more and more people joining us, but we are going to start on time today. And so I appreciate that. Welcome, Rosie. Awesome. Well, I hope you guys all got a lot of value out of yesterday. And if you're here for the first time today, you're going to want to go back and watch the replay, because it is a continuation from yesterday, and I'm reviewing a little bit, but if you're confused, just go back and watch the first day, and I think it'll all clear itself up. So welcome to day 2 of the masterclass, how to build confidence for your network marketing success and accelerate towards the success you desire. So in this masterclass, this is what you're learning. Yesterday we talked about secret 1, how to set the right kind of goals to stop worrying about what other people think of you. And secret 2, how to let go of fear and embrace your network marketing adventure. We really talked a lot about fear and where it comes from and how to shift it. And then today we are going to be talking about how to eliminate competition and build a productive team that works together. And we're also taking a deep dive into self-confidence, confidence, self-image, because as we mentioned yesterday, success starts with you. So if you're not right, then everything else isn't right. So let's go on. So how many of you did the homework from last night? Put a 1 in the chat if you did the homework. The homework, you were discovering, what do you want? What do you really want? What would you love? And now that your goal is achieved, how do you feel? And now that your goal is achieved, how will you live? So let's see who did the homework. So we're going to use this. So hold on to this. We're going to use this a little later. And thanks those of you who are coming in a little bit later. We're starting on time today, so we have a lot to get through. So if you did the homework, put a 2 in the chat for me. If you didn't do the homework, that's okay. We're going to work with it a little bit later too. And so thanks for those of you that did the homework. That's awesome. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a lot about yourself. It might have been kind of difficult to open up that dreaming capacity within yourself, but it's really, really important. What lies before you and what lies behind you are tiny matters compared to what lies within you. That is such an awesome quote. Basically what I just said, it's what lies within you. It's who you are that makes a difference. And if you don't know who you are and you don't understand who you are, then you're handicapped. So this is what this is all about, is really understanding you better. And so you can be a better person in the world. And what we discovered yesterday is that your results in life are a direct reflection of what's going on inside of you. So if you don't like your results in life, there's something you can change, something you can shift inside of you to get a new result. And then we're going to be talking more about self-confidence and self-image today. Self-confidence sets the boundaries. It sets your boundaries, personally and professionally, of all places you can go in life. And so sometimes I talk to people about, they say, I have good self-confidence, I have a good self-image, but really you'll see as we talk later that you always have to be working on your self-image if you're always growing, if you're always going to a new goal. And it's the single best thing to get working on in order to accelerate towards the success you desire. So this is a replete side from yesterday. It's not who you are that holds you back. It's who you think you're not. I just love this quote. It's not who you are that holds you back. It's who you think you're not. And I'm not even sure who made that up. It comes through the Proctor Gallagher Institute. So we're looking at who do you think you're not, and why do you think you're not? And one of the reasons we talked about yesterday is that you were programmed early on in your life. In your early life, you were programmed both genetically from your parents, and you were also programmed in your environment in your early life. From 0 to 5 years old, you're like a sponge. You take on everything, values, beliefs, habits of all the people around you, and you become like them. You believe like them. And you don't really have any control over that. And this is why. Again, back to the stick figure, because we don't have a picture of the mind. So the stick figure is our ability to see the mind and make sense of what's happening. So if you were not on yesterday, you definitely want to repeat this. You can pick up what you pick up. But you were programmed early on. So you had just half of the stick figure. Your subconscious mind was wide open. And remember, the subconscious mind can only accept what it's given. It cannot reject anything. Whereas in your conscious mind, when that's developed later on in your life, you can actually start accepting and rejecting ideas. So this is what happens when you're little. Information goes in, ideas, rules, values, and beliefs of other people, of the culture that you're in. And it creates a paradigm in your subconscious mind. And this paradigm in your subconscious mind can either work for you or against you right now. And a lot of it is probably working against you right now, and you don't even know it. So to bring this more into our awareness and really understand this and really learn how to shift the old paradigm, it's not working for us anymore, create a new paradigm so we can get the results that we want. So here's a question: how do you see yourself? Your self-image really is set in your early life, and unless you consciously change it, it will stay the same for the rest of your life. You will never outperform your self-image. So think about, how do you see yourself? How do you feel about yourself? And then we talked yesterday about results, and why do you get the same results over and over and over again? So we have the stick figure again, conscious mind, subconscious mind, body. That represents your mind. The total image represents your mind. But because we don't have a picture for the mind, this helps us really relate to it and understand it and put ourselves in the picture. So it's really a brilliant idea. So what happens is you see the R is your results that you've created. And most people tend to focus on the current results that they have and pay attention to it. And when you pay attention to that, you have thoughts that are like the current results. You're thinking, you're feeling like the current results, and your feelings create a vibration in your body, which starts a reaction out into the world. And that reaction gets you the counter reaction, which gives you the same result. We call that the law of attraction. Really, the underlying law to the law of attraction is the law of vibration, because however you're in a vibration, that's what's attracting back to you. So our paradigms really control our thinking. Their paradigms, remember, are in the subconscious mind. So this is very good thing to remember. So all of your current results are based on your previous thinking from a week ago, 2 weeks ago, a month ago. And so just think about it. If this is how results are formed, if you keep focusing on those results, you're going to keep getting the same results. So the way to get around this is to cut off your attention to the current result and focus only on what you want, your goal, where you're going, and be forward moving and forward focused. And this, it sounds easy, and it is fairly easy when you get the hang of it, but just try to disconnect from your present results today. Just try to not think about them, try to not worry about them, try to and you'll see that it's going to take some conscious awareness for you to really disconnect from the current result in the bank account, the current result, the current result that you don't like. If you're focusing on the current result you don't like, you're going to get more of the same. This is really huge. So you become what you think about. Now, you've probably heard this phrase a lot. I heard this a lot. You become what you think about, think to create. It really makes sense. And yet, I know for myself, I didn't really understand it. I thought, oh, that's really cool. Yeah, that makes sense. I think I get it, but I didn't get it because I didn't know how to think. So if you become what you think about, then you should know how to think. And you should know this whole process of when you think and how it becomes the results. And this is actually pretty simple to understand on an intellectual level, on our subconscious level, but it's contrary to our paradigm and how we've been taught to think. So we have a hard time accepting it. And that word accepting it is really accepting the idea, whether you consciously understand it or not. So that's really, really important. So when you're thinking about your dreams and you're getting emotionally involved with your dreams, your goal, and you start feeling emotions related to your dream, excited, happy, whatever that is, then you're going to be in a vibration, and your body's going to be in a vibration. And that you're going to take certain actions related to how you're feeling, and that's going to go out into the world and cause a reaction, and then create your current circumstance, your environment, your results. This is what thinking into results means. And so this is true both if you're thinking a positive thought or if you're thinking a negative thought. So it's a very simple concept. And yet, because we have paradigm that doesn't understand it, we tend to reject it. So if you can accept this idea and work with it, you'll have huge results. So self-confidence is a mental state that can be developed in you. It's your passport to a fun-filled, successful life. And you have a self-image already. So when you deviate from your self-image, when you set a higher goal, when you set a big goal for yourself and deviate, you're deviating from this current self-image, because you're going to have to be a different self at the new goal. It's just how it is when you grow. So when you deviate from the current self-image, it pulls you right back. It pulls you right back, unless you know this process of how to shift it, how to shift yourself, how to be aware, and how to change your self-image to the new self-image that you're going to. And this is one of the keys. You actually have two images. You have the one you project to the world, and you have the picture you hold inside. And ultimately, the picture you hold inside definitely shows on the outside. And a negative or bad image of yourself will then reflect in your results. So think about that. If you're not congruent inside and outside, sometimes people will get a makeover, they'll get a fashion makeover, they'll feel better about themselves, but the picture that they hold inside of themselves is still not congruent with that, how they look on the outside. So sometimes they still won't feel good about themselves, even though they look good. And it's not a bad idea to do that, but it's just a better idea to do both things, to increase your image from the inside and from the outside, and then move your image to the goal that you want to have. Like, think about, how does the person at my goal dress? How do they act? How do they talk? How do they walk? And then you're going to create that image of where you're going. So self-image sets the boundary of all individual accomplishment. That was a quote from Dr. Maxwell Maltz. His book was just transformational back in the 1960s. He wrote the book Psycho-Cybernetics. Has anybody read that book? Put a 1 in the chat if you've read that book. It's really a Bible on yourself and your self-image. So it's a great book to pick up. I actually had that book back in the 80s, and I love that. I love that book then, and I love it even more because I really understand it better than I did back then. Often we are not aware of the image we have of ourselves. And that image, the inner image, influences every part of our life. The way you walk, talk, look, love, dream, everything. It's how you see things. If you have a negative image of yourself, your result will be negative. If you have a limited image of yourself, your results are going to be limited. It's just the way it works. You can change your image and you can change your world. Just by understanding this psycho-cybernetic mechanism that you have within yourself. And we're going to go a little deeper into that in the next few slides. So self-image really is your glass ceiling. It's as far as you can go. So if you don't change your self-image, you're going to be fighting yourself. It's going to be a battle. You might get some results, but then you're going to go back and have like a back and forth success. And I don't think you want that. It's frustrating to have that happen. Maybe you've had that happen in the past. So you have this control mechanism in your mind. This is what Maxwell Maltz discovered. Maxwell Maltz was actually a plastic surgeon back in the 60s, and he would do surgeries on people, you know, to remove a scar or to change a nose or whatever it was. And then he would notice that some people would have a huge difference in their personality after the surgery, and some people didn't. And so that really made him want to think and really understand what was going on with his clients. And that's how his book kind of started, and all his research into psycho-cybernetics, psycho meaning the mind, cybernetics being this control mechanism in your mind, which we talked about yesterday as your inner programming. It determines what comes into your life, and it determines how well you do whatever you do. We refer to it as an image, a self-image. So this is one way to look at your mind is really a cybernetic mechanism, and so is your heating cooling device in your house. And so when you set the temperature in your house, it's like you're programming the mechanism, and then when you open the door and the temperature changes, and automatically that mechanism will kick in and bring the temperature back to what you set it at. So think of that as your mind. So currently you're programmed, you have this cybernetic mechanism, you're programmed in lots of different ways: values, habits, beliefs, self-image. Self-image is actually part of the paradigm. So you're programmed in all these different ways. You go off and try to get your new goal, but you didn't change the setting in the mechanism. So your mechanism tries to bring you back immediately to the self-image that is set in you. So that's why you have to change the mechanism in order to change the result. So this is explained a little bit here. Your subconscious mind holds the programming. Your conscious thinking mind is the control knob of your unconscious machine. So you have the control knob. You can change your self-image through your conscious thinking and impress it into your subconscious mind, where it will be accepted and you get emotionally involved with it. And then as a result, you change the program within yourself. When you do that, you'll change your results. So that made it sound fairly complicated, but I think I explained it correctly. So I just find this fascinating, and the book Psycho-Cybernetics is completely fascinating. You'll understand yourself way more if you read that book. So we can think about the psycho-cybernetic mechanism for people on a diet, or weight reduction plan, or trying to eat healthy or something. So one thing is that we are programmed to find what we lose. Think about it. If you lose your phone, you're like all over finding it right away. If you lose your keys, like maybe you don't notice right away because you're not driving a lot right now, but you lose your keys, like you got to find those. So when you lose something, you want to find it. So that's why a lot of people shift from losing weight to releasing weight. So it's like gone, let go of it. It's not there anymore. I don't need to find it again. And until you change the inner image of yourself to match the outer image as you're losing weight, as you're getting into a different body shape, your results are only going to be temporary. And we see this a lot with weight loss. You know, that's a huge business because of this. Because people change their behavior and they eat better and they do what they're supposed to do, but they don't change the inner image of themselves. They still have a fat image, or they still have an unhealthy image, or they still have some self-criticism going on, or whatever it is, where they're not congruent with their new outer image. And so they go back. So hopefully that helps you understand that. And this is the explanation of it. When you change your behavior, the results are only temporary. So you're changing behavior, you're changing if you look at the stick figure, it'd be changing your body's actions, your behaviors that your body's taking, but you're not changing your thinking. So when you change your thinking, the results become permanent. So when you change your thinking and how you're feeling about yourself, then you have more permanent result because you become congruent from the inside out. So first, in order to get a goal, first you are. This is the walk, talk, become the person you're going to be when you have that goal, and you act like the person you're going to be when you have your goal, and then you get the goal. So the goal doesn't just happen until you put yourself into it and start acting like it. And by that putting yourself into it, getting in the right vibration, doing some actions like the person at her or his goal, then you're actually attracting and magnetizing that new life to you. You know, there's a statement saying like your goal is seeking you as much as you're seeking your goal. And so you have to get yourself in alignment, like in vibrational alignment with the goal you're going towards. And how you do that, I don't know if you can see my hands. So it's like you're going to go from, you got to raise, this is your goal up here, you're down here, you have to raise your vibration to get on the same level, and then you attract it easily. There's no other way. This is one of the universal laws. This is how it works. So we change the subconscious through our thoughts and our behavior. And if you never act like the new person, then your goal will stay a fantasy. So we're going to go back to the homework that you did. If you didn't do the homework, that's okay. We're going to just work with a little bit of a visualization around self-image and who you are and where you're going. So if you didn't do the homework, that's okay. We're just going to be talking about what do you want. Think about what do you want. And if you did do the homework, you can get that out and look at it. What do you really want? Really, what do you want? This is a question you should probably be asking yourself at least once a year, if not more, maybe once a month, because as you raise your awareness, as you change, your wants and desires can change as well, because you realize that you have more potential. You have unlimited potential, and your wants and desires from right now are based on your current paradigm. You can't see through the fog right now, and once you start shifting and getting rid of the fog of your current paradigm, you get more clear eyesight, and you can see, oh, I could go there. That would be awesome. And what would you love? And then a couple statements that really help you think about this is, now that your goal is achieved, how do you feel? And you would ask yourself, now that my goal is achieved, how do I feel? And then, now that your goal is achieved, how will I live? Or how will you live? Now that my goal is achieved, how will I live? Those are great questions to ask yourself so you can get into the visualization of where you want to be. Okay, so we're going to do a short meditation visualization. So I'm going to play some quiet music, and then I'm just going to do a little guide for you through this. But we're really going to be talking about, I want you to be able to see the person you are in your dream, at your goal, and be asking yourself, now that my goal is achieved, how do I feel and how do I live? So get yourself comfortable. No more questions in the chat. I'm just going to grab the music here and so hopefully you can hear that. So just sit comfortably in your chair. If you can put away all your pens and papers for now, and feet on the floor. Take a deep breath and breathe out. And another deep breath and breathe out. And relax your shoulders. Wiggle your toes. Feel your toes on the floor. Relax your arms. And just be here now. Be open. If you don't see pictures, that's okay. Just imagine you can see pictures. Just do the best you can. And I want you to bring to mind your goal, where you want to go. What's your dream? What's your dream for yourself, for your life, for your business? What are you doing? Now that your goal is achieved, how are you living? What car are you driving? What house do you live in? How is the house decorated? Who's with you? Family members? Friends? Are you going on vacations? Are you flying in private jets? How many vacations do you go on per year? Where do you go? Beaches? Historic places? What do you want? What do you really want your life to be? What is fulfilling for you? What do you love? Take yourself on this journey. And then when you get to your dream, you're feeling your dream, how are you feeling? Are you excited? Are you happy? Are you calm? Are you peace? How do you feel now that your goal is achieved? How do you act? Now that your goal is achieved and you're going out grocery shopping, what are you wearing? How are you acting? How are you speaking to people? Is it different than you're speaking to people now? How do you hold yourself? Are you a little bit taller? This is you. This is you now. In your subconscious mind, there is no time or space. So anything you imagine is true now, is true. Anything you imagine is true. That's the power of imagination. So pull yourself into this state on a daily basis, because the more you imagine, the more it becomes real. It's called imagined reality. Whatever you imagine is real to your subconscious mind. And the more feeling and emotion that you can have, the more is impressed on your vibration of your body. And you realize that one day, you actually are living your dream. The day is today. Your dream has come true. And then you make a new dream. Because we're always growing, we're always changing, but we love the process. I wish I could see your faces, but take a deep breath and let it out. And if you want to take some notes to yourself, that would be a good idea. And I hope that was a lovely, lovely experience for you. Share in the chat with me how you enjoyed that meditation. The imagining of where you're at. How did that feel? So thank you guys. And another quote that I just really love, we talked a little bit about yesterday of not caring what other people think about you. And this is another one to just ask yourself. A quote from Bill Gove. If I want to be free, I've got to be me. Click. Not the me you think I should be. Not the me my wife or husband thinks I should be. Not the me my kids or family thinks I should be. If I want to be free, I've got to be me. So I better know who me is. I think in life, we're always discovering more and more about ourselves and understanding ourselves better. And the thing is that as we understand ourselves better, we understand other people better. And so think about that. As you study yourself, as you understand yourself, you're going to know your clients better. You're going to know your team better. You're going to know your family better. You're going to understand where they're coming from and probably be more compassionate. You know, when a family member, you can tell they're just reacting out of their paradigm, it's so much easier to just go, oh, they just don't know, and they're reacting because it's how they were taught to believe. So thanks for the comments about the meditation. Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. I'm glad you liked it. So no one ever made a difference by being like anyone else. P.T. Barnum. I love that. You know, P.T. Barnum of the circus. They just did that movie, The Greatest Showman, which I love that movie. If you have not seen that movie, it's so much personal development positive in there. Really a great movie to watch during this time if you have extra time. But no one ever made a difference by being like everyone else. So be yourself and really understand who you are. So secret number 3, how to eliminate competition and build a productive team that works together. So I'm going to cycle back to this that we talked about yesterday. Sorry, I got a little cough. Cycle of disintegration. And I wanted to talk about this because, just to remind you, we always have a choice to take in the energy from the outside world and be positive or negative. And when we choose worry and doubt, and we do not stop worrying and doubt from entering our subconscious mind by rejecting it, then it becomes fear. And when fear is impressed, when it's felt and highly emotionalized, it becomes anxiety in your body. Now think about how many people in the world have anxiety and depression. So anxiety is normally suppressed, and then it becomes depression. We don't like to feel anxiety. We don't like to talk about it. We don't, acknowledge it. So then it becomes depression. And then what our culture has done has made depression okay. You know, it's like a thing that everybody has. And so it's okay all of a sudden. And then that becomes dis-ease, disharmony. Should always hyphenate the word dis-ease. It's dis-ease, disharmony. This is really an example of, I call it the disease wellness model. I'm just looking at the chat. Awesome. Thanks, Babette. Is that how you say your name? I'm not sure. And disintegration. So we go down this negative spiral. And most people, I would say a huge percentage of people, are not aware of this, we call it ignorance. It's not stupidity, it's just not knowing. And so they go through this cycle every single day, every single year, all the time until death. But we know that we have a choice. We have a possibility to choose the opposite. And so the opposite of that is the positive polarity, which begins with understanding who we are. We call it knowledge of ourselves. And the only way to understand who you are is to study yourself through reading specific materials, through studying this type of material. And as you learn more and more about yourself and the whole process of choosing what you think and then impressing it on your subconscious mind and your ability to do that or not do that, depending on what you want. So the understanding becomes faith. Faith and fear both live in the same area, the subconscious mind. So you're either operating from faith or fear. And you can always just do a check with yourself. Am I in fear? Am I in faith? Even with COVID going on, am I in fear or am I in faith? Do I know that everything's going to be fine? Everything's going to work out? And then that faith impresses a vibration into the body of well-being, the wellness model, well-being. And normally when people feel well, they express, and happy, they express that. They're excited, they're open, they're moving in their lives, and they also have a calmness about them and at ease. And this is where creation happens. So this is why I wanted to bring this up for you today. Oh, the way of creation. Because we're going to be talking about creation versus competition in your teams. So we see that creation comes from being in a positive polarity. And yesterday we talked a lot about network marketing and it being a great environment for the most part. It's a great environment. So I'm just going to keep going through the slides as I talk more about that. And that's kind of why we're attracted to it, I think, too. So when you align you with you, we all win. And what I mean by this is aligning your thoughts, feelings, and actions, aligning the stick figure and your behaviors, being congruent in all those aspects of yourself with what you want, with where you're going, with your self-image. You align your thoughts, feelings, and actions. And in turn, when you're in alignment with you, when you're acting from a place of strength and inner power, you are helping so many others become successful just by your example, leading by your example. So teams also have an image. Corporations have an image. So your team can collectively work to improve their team image. People work better together. Individuals grow when they have support and the support of team members. And a team working in the spirit of harmony to the same objective is one of the most powerful forces in the world. I mean, you could think about this in sports teams. When you see like the underdog, sometimes the team that's not expected to win the tournament wins the tournament. It's their team spirit. It's their connection between each other. It's their support of each other. They're knowing how to succeed as a team rather than as an individual, and their willingness to support other people. So creative teams also have more fun because you're in that positive vibration, that positive energy of the positive polarity. So cooperation is always more powerful than competition. So you can create a powerful team for yourself. And you could also consider your family a team. I mean, this doesn't have to be in your business. One way to do this is to always leave others with the impression of increase. So I'm not sure if you know what that means, but leaving somebody with the impression of increase is every interaction you have with someone, help them to feel better about themselves. You know, a sincere compliment, to the grocery store person, or really even a conversation with a grocery store person. Yesterday I went to the grocery, and they have the people cleaning the carts, and I thought, oh my gosh, what a job to have, cleaning those carts. And so I was really talking to the lady that was doing it, and thanking her for it. And so always helping people to feel better. And the magical thing that happens with that is that you feel better. And when you feel better, you have a good vibration. And so it's like a constant up leveling of your vibration and how you feel. And you almost want to do it more and more. So just think about everyone you meet, leave them with the impression of increase, and help them to feel like the most important person in the world. So you could think about this when you're talking to a potential client, a potential person you want to get into your business. Be 100% focused on them, treat them like they're the most important person in the world, like they're the love of your life, or the family member or whatever. And you've probably had this experience from other people, but again, it makes them feel fabulous, and it makes you feel fabulous. I had this experience one time with my hairdresser where, at the hairdresser, sometimes they're like therapy. It's like therapy, and we talk back and forth and talk back and forth. But one time I decided I was just going to ask her questions about her and be totally focused on her life and what she was doing. And I swear at the end of the conversation, she was like, oh my gosh, you've changed so much. And she was just complimenting about all this stuff. And I was like, we were just talking about you. But she felt so good, by me focusing on her, that she kind of sent that love back to me. And she really noticed it. So try that with family, friends, team members, potential clients that you're with, and put your 100% focus on treating them like the most important person in the world. And really, competition is really the negative side of the polarity, and only focus on creation and what you're creating. And I'm not sure what my next one. Yeah, everybody doing their best. But the thing is, with competition and creation, like there should really be no competition ever anywhere, because we're all unique. We're all unique. There's so many people that are doing the same business you're doing. But the people that are attracted to you are attracted to you because of you. And the more you understand yourself and know yourself, the more you're going to attract people that are really attracted to you, really aligned with you. So you're creating, all your team members are creating, and you can support each other in creating because there's no competition. Does that make sense, you guys? It's so much easier to just be living in creation and not competition. So just going back to the very beginning when we talked yesterday, the success really starts with you. And so I just wanted to kind of review some of the things we've talked about. That studying you is the best thing you can do to achieve more success. You want to set a goal that's going to stretch you and cause you to grow. And you want to bridge this gap between what you know and what you're doing, and be more productive and have more fun. And then stop worrying what other people think about you. Gain more confidence by improving your self-image, and let go of the fear and embrace this life as an adventure. Remember we talked about the terror barrier. You've got to get through that terror barrier to get to your goal. If you have a big enough goal, there's going to be a terror barrier. So when you understand it, it's easier to take the ride and have it be an adventure, and eliminate competition and build a team that works together. So the secrets that we learned in the masterclass were how to set the right goals and stop worrying about what other people think of you, how to let go of fear and embrace your network marketing adventure, and how to eliminate competition and build a productive team, all based on, back to self-image, creating the self-image, feeling better about yourself, being congruent with yourselves helps you have more confidence. When you know who you are and you know how you work, and you work from the inside out rather than being affected by outside circumstances, you are rock solid. And so that builds your confidence. So this process is incredibly powerful. And you now understand that self-image sets the boundaries personally and professionally of yourself. It's the single biggest thing to improve in order to accelerate towards your success you desire, and you become what you think about. So through the meditation, you experienced shifting yourself and how good that felt. Seeing yourself already at the goal, seeing yourself already achieving it. So are you ready to go for your big goal in your business and in your life? Are you excited? Are you excited? Put a 1 in the chat if you're excited. Yay. Thank you. Awesome. Barbette. That's how you say it probably. Thank you guys. I'm excited that you're excited. This, as you can see, is my passion. I love helping people through this process. But here's the thing. I want to have you take a poll. Are you committed? Let me launch this poll to see how committed you are, because committed is a different thing. So let me have you look at this. I'm 100% committed. I'm ready to bust through this. I'm 80% committed. I'm almost there, but I'm scared. So click the one that applies to you. I'm 50%, I'm interested but need to know more. 30%, I'm not sure I want to change or put that much effort into changing. And 0%, I want to stay exactly how I am. So if you want to click so I can see where you're at, that'd be awesome. So we have a couple at 100% and 80%. That's awesome. I don't think anybody wants to stay the same. That's good. I don't think you'd be on this call if you wanted to stay the same. All right. Thank you guys for filling that out. That helps. So you're at 80 and 100, most of you. That's great. So let me tell you about commitment. This is by Kenneth Blanchard. There's a difference between being interested and committed. When we are interested, we do what's convenient. When we are committed, we do whatever it takes. We accept only results, not excuses. It's a big difference. How often have you said, "Oh, I'm interested," or you click on Facebook, for an event, and you go, "I'm interested." Really interested really doesn't happen. If you're interested in something, it means, yeah, I probably won't show up, but I'll give it a nod. But committed is saying yes. Committed is saying yes and actually following through and doing it. It's putting it on your schedule, doing whatever it takes to get on the event. And so it's the same for your own life. Are you interested in changing your life and getting some new results? Or are you really committed? Because it takes, to be committed. That's why I put this guy diving off the cliff, to leave the comfort zone, to leave the, the scariness of it, it takes a leap of faith. And that was the leap of faith I took when I decided to study with Bob Proctor, because I knew that I burned all the bridges. There was no one else I could study with. I'd already studied with all the new thought leaders around. And I was just like, this has got to be the solution. And even though I didn't know that it would be. So you have to take that leap. It's incredibly scary. That's what I'm here too, is to support you with, making that leap. So now you have a choice. Now you have a choice. And so you ask yourself, do you want the same old results? And most of you don't, that are still here. Or do you want more? Do you want the life that you really want? Do you want to live a different life? Do you want to have the success that you want? So it's your choice. We always have a choice, negative or positive. We always have a choice, but we have to make the decision. Napoleon Hill, in his book Think and Grow Rich, where he interviewed 500 of the wealthiest people in the world back in the early 1900s, said the biggest difference between the wealthy and other people is they make decisions quickly and they change them rarely, if at all. And so the people that go back and forth and indecision do not become wealthy. So you have to learn how to make decisions quickly. And when you know who you are, when you know where you're going, when you know what you want, a decision is pretty easy. Does it align with me or not? Am I resonating with it or not? So decisions can be easy and you can make them quick. So this is some of the things that can happen for you when you begin thinking and getting new results. You get really clear on your purpose, your vision, and your goals for your life. Eliminate indecision. Indecision is the opposite of procrastination. You quickly become more confident and effective. And you remove the barriers of fear, doubt, and worry, and form positive habits that stick permanently. So these are some of the shifts that you can make when you start really using your thinking faculties. So I wanted to offer you guys a call to see where you're at now and what you want, what you're going for. And I'm not even sure if I mentioned this, like what you want has to be a deep desire, has to be strong enough that you really, it makes you want to get up in the morning. It makes you excited. It taps into your passion, because in order to get to a big goal, if you're not really desiring it, if you're not really passionate about it, you will make up all kinds of excuses not to do whatever you need to do to get it. And your paradigm will take over. Your paradigm takes over a lot already, even whether you know it or not. Mine does too. We're always working on shifting our paradigm. So we'll also talk about what's holding you back. What are the paradigms that you have going on, or the self-image, or whatever it is that's your most particular thing that's going on for you, and get success strategies that you can immediately implement into your business, your life. And if you want to get on a call with me, you can go to this link, and I'm going to put it in the chat for you, so you can just copy it to. But you got to really make a decision, you guys. Nothing happens without decision. Oops, I didn't do that right. So if you want to just copy that, that'll take you to my schedule. You can make a time. There's a few questions in there. And the thing is that, like, you guys have been here now for 2 days, and you've learned a lot. You learned it from the conscious level of your mind. And what I find is that in order to implement this, you really need support. You really need accountability. You really need to have consistency with it, because just like working out, just like losing the weight, if you start to change some behaviors but don't change your thinking, or don't change it in the right way, or don't really get into the paradigm that's holding you back, you're not going to have the permanent results. So it's super important to really think about, what do you want? Where do you want to go? And get on a call with me, because it's free and no cost. You can, if you resonate with everything you've heard here so far, I'm guessing you have, or you wouldn't be here till the end. Then we should just get on a call so that we can pinpoint some of these areas for you, and see if potentially doing some coaching with me is good for you, is right for you, if it's a good fit. We don't know until we have a conversation. So that's why we have a conversation. So you'll be asked some questions on the sign up, and so just answer those questions. They're pretty brief. And then I would love to talk to you. So does anybody have any further questions for me before we get off the call? Yeah, I'm not sure about that, Barbette. Oh, so you can't see that? So can you just write down my you can't see my, my link, you can just write down my link. It's my website /apply. And, or you can send me an email or message me somehow. But the best thing, you can also sign up through the website too, if you just go to drshelleynash.com. Any other questions? That you guys have gotten a lot of material today. I really appreciate you being on the call with me this whole time, and I hope you learned a lot, and I'd love to chat with you. So I look forward to seeing you in my schedule and helping you get to the goals that you really want, the goals that you really desire, and we can do it together. So thank you. Have a blessed day, and I'll be talking to you soon. Just see if there's any more chats, Okay, thank you so much, everybody. Yes, you'll get a replay. You'll get a replay sent to you. You should have already gotten a replay of yesterday in your email. Always check your junk mail in case it went there, but I got it, so you should get it. And then you'll probably get another replay email with both links in it as well. So thanks so much, everyone. I will be talking to you very soon, and I really appreciate you being on the class. You really allowed me to really think more about network marketing and how, you know, I can help you. I can help teams in the network marketing business, because, you know, in that business, I think it's even more prevalent, all the paradigm that comes up and that stops people, and we really have a way to help people with that. So I look forward to talking to you. Bye-bye.